Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest millionaires, billionaires, and entrepreneurs in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
You have the responsibility of providing value to them.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Really, the goal isn't to be disciplined. The goal is for it to be intuitive.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Just decided I'm going to prove them wrong because I feel like this is progressive. This is something that is new and different.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Happy Fired Up Friday, Ramon, Adam, Jude. Thank you, everyone. David, we are here. It is Friday. It is May 5th. It is 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. We are here with David Meltzer's Hour. Welcome, everybody. David's been doing free Friday training for over 23 years, and today's topic is BYOQ.
Welcome, everyone. We are just getting started. I want to thank you. It's BYOQ. Load up the questions, everyone. Email me if you don't get your question answered. David@dmeltzer.com. We're fired up here from Sherman College. We're doing a commencement speech here today. Don't forget to join us at VCon, at Collision. We got so many great things coming on. Office Hours, 2-minute drill. Please just email me if you want to participate in any way. David@dmeltzer.com. Welcome, everyone. Load up the questions. Let me go ahead, pin this up right here. Thank you. I love it. Yes, we got tons of questions here online. I want to thank everybody for loading us up with so many great ones. We're going to start here with what are some habits that every entrepreneur should have? And the number one habit is the daily practices. You need to create your own daily practices. You have to create a habit machine. Get out in front of your habits. Know that behaviors have the same characteristics of money, of time, of space. It is an energy that aggregates, compounds, and accelerates. You got to get out in front of your habit by creating a habit machine. And in order to create a machine that you could say, hey, I want to lose weight. Boom, right in the habit machine. Hey, I want to get stronger. Boom, I want to make more money, help more people, have more fun. Boom, 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 right into the habit machine. And what creates a habit machine is a daily practice routine based off of values and an execution model on the back end. And I encourage everyone to create their own. I have my 5 daily practices, my habit machine. I will send it to you as a template. Go ahead, email me. I'll be happy to give you so you can create your own habit machine. The greatest habit that an entrepreneur or anyone should have is to create a habit machine first. So then you can just effectuate, according to your values, any habit that you want in your life to aggregate, exponentially give you outcomes and accelerate those outcomes so they happen faster. What a great way. What a great start. Great question, by the way. Everyone, if you'd like that habit machine, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. All right, Jake, do you have anyone that has a question up, or should I take another one? We are overloaded. We are over 81,000 people registered for training, by the way, on every platform. We're the only one that simulcasts via what I call the Sanford & Son SaaS solution that I've created. So we are on every platform. Breakfast of Champions being amplified over the entire world on every platform. You can catch us. You just got to register. Go ahead, Jake. What's up next?
Let's do it. Let's bring up Gigi here on Clubhouse to ask her question. And also, if anyone has any questions live here on Clubhouse, just raise your hand or back channel me and we will bring you up. So Gigi, go ahead if you want to unmute yourself and ask David your question. Welcome.
Hello, happy Friday. Love that intro. So my question is, you are actually helping a lot of people, and you also say you are made by the people who say no to you, which is something that you don't usually do. So how do you combine those two for people to become who they desire to become?
Yeah, well, you're made by the people that say no to you. I always say how. Right. So my answer is how, but you're made by the people that say no to you because it's the pre-qualifier of a closed mind. And remember, everybody has a closed mind some of the time, just like everyone has an open mind some of the time. So I institute a 3 no rule because I'm made by the people that say no to me. Why is that? Because if someone says no to me, one, I know they have a closed mind, which means I will not be utilizing my time in an efficient, effective way. But I will use 3 no's to keep on coming back, because if I can find an open mind, even with someone who has a closed mind the majority of the time, exponentially, I'll be more successful, because people with a closed mind the majority of the time don't have as many options, opportunities, and touches of favor as someone like me that's a how person who has a completely open mind, and only once in a while, because of time, emotion, or value, do I have a closed mind. But on the 3rd no, this is why you're made by the people that say no to you. When you use a 3 no rule and someone gives you a no for the 3rd time, then you can simply say, hey, obviously this isn't the right time. When it is, let me know. About 50% of the time, you'll never hear from that person again. Do you realize how much time you have saved, how much statistical success you will have because the people who have told you no make you? And the other 50%, by the way, accelerate to move forward with you. Doesn't mean they're going to say yes. Now, one of the other nuances that I've learned with the 3 no rule, and with people being afraid of no or lying to themselves in a certain circumstance, especially with activity they get paid for, is they think that the size of the deal matters. So they think that they should keep on pushing if a deal's bigger and keep wasting their time, even though it's a closed mind. And they keep lying to themselves because it's a bigger deal than the other deals. I'm sorry to say, for you gentlemen especially, size does not matter. A no is a no, regardless of size. And so what you want to do is utilize in a disciplined manner the 3 no rule, because you know that a closed mind, it takes 1,000 times or more the energy time, emotion, and value to overcome or re-engineer a closed mind. So you are made, Gigi, by the people that say no to you. I encourage people to have an open mind and to say how, and then prioritize all the options, opportunities, and touches of favor according to the how, utilizing lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in order to effectuate that prioritization of what's important to you. What a great question to lead off in person here on the Breakfast of Champions. I'm going to hand it back off to Jakey of the Bakey. Let's keep moderating. We got lots of questions all over the place. So, Jake, you guide me. I'm going to let you be the Magellan of Breakfast of Champions today.
All right, I love it. Dave, let's take a question online. If you want to take a question online, then we'll bring up Jesse here on Clubhouse when you're back.
You got it. So next question. How do you empower yourself to wake up with the right mindset every day? Well, first of all, most people live in nothingness. They live in nothingness. They live like tubes, food in, food out. And the reason they do is because they don't know what they want each day in a trajectory, aiming towards pursuing their potential of what they think they want. And they don't look backwards to give the lessons their due power and empowerment to their life. They give the wrong meanings to the failures, setbacks, pain, mistakes, void, shortage, obstacles, even successes of their past. And so as you empower yourself to wake up, not being a tube, living your life food in, food out, but instead trying to plateau every morning to create a new baseline that you can use as an indicator when you're interfering with your potential, knowing that your higher self is where you want to awake. And the only way I know to plateau and grow, to create a higher baseline every single day, to create the aggregation, compounding, and acceleration you want in the trajectory or pursuit of your potential. The only way that I know is to put your mind, your body, and soul in a position to recover and to access the information necessary for the next day. And the best way that I have found, besides having a coach to help me do that, is to have my own unwinding routine. So I unwind every night. I always say my tomorrow starts today. My plateau and grow starts today at 9 p.m., giving myself 2 hours to unwind at the max, so that I know at minimum I will have 5 hours of sleep, and at maximum I'll have 7 hours of sleep. Because if I do this correctly, I will pass out in a position of recovery and access. I will wake up in the morning a higher self, a new high baseline of potential to use as a indicator when interference is occurring in my life that I'm going below that line, into blame, shame, justification, into fear of the past and guilt and resentment, fear of the future and anxiety and worry. I utilize the plateau and grow as a possibility to my next day that will lead to a probability into my perspective. If you don't have an unwinding routine, if you don't pay attention and give intention to your sleep, you will live Camus the Stranger. You'll live the myth of Sisyphus. You will roll every morning and wake up more tired than when you went to bed, which is as silly as going out to eat and leaving hungry. It's crazy. If you want to plateau and grow, you need to unwind, put yourself, your mind, body, and soul in a position to recover and access that information so that when you wake up, you are a higher self, a better self, and you are ready to rock and roll and to pursue your potential. Get above the line, have an unwinding routine, get a coach that can help you put your mind, body, and soul in that position, and you will aggregate, accelerate, and compound your potential. I promise you. What another great question. We're on a roll, Jake. Let's keep it rocking and rolling.
Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Let's bring up Jesse here on Clubhouse. Jesse, if you want to unmute yourself and ask David your question, welcome.
Hi, Jake. Hi, David. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm prepared this time. Don't worry. So,
Worry is a wasted emotion and a duplicative negative. So worry is a wasted emotion. If you worry, not only are you interfering with your potential, but you're wishing for what you don't want. So I'm not worried.
okay, cool. Well, my question is, so I've been at my current job for almost 2 years now, and I'm sort of at that point where I'm opening myself up to other opportunities. How do I look for a job that's going to help me grow and challenge me without applying to a job I'm not really qualified for, and B, not feeling like I have what it takes, because I want to learn, I want to grow, but I'm also kind of intimidated by, the requirements and experience qualifications, etc.
Wow, what a great question. So it's funny because this is a generalization, but I have 3 daughters and 1 son. I grew up with 5 boys and 1 girl. I have tons of employees, men and women. I have tons of interns, men and women, tons of executive president of my company is a woman, CEO of my company is a man. And guess what I see as a differentiator generally is that for whatever reason, women are intimidated by requirements. If I show the same requirements for an opportunity to generally to a man, they'll go ahead and figure out a way to align their skills, knowledge, and desire to those requirements. If it says, 4 years of litigation experience necessary, they'll say, well, I was in moot court in law school for 2 years. That's litigation experience. And, I was in this program. That's the litigation. And they'll go ahead and apply, knowing that you never can overachieve your own self-image. And so what I want you to do, and where a lot of women like you, including my daughters, look at requirements like I apply because you need 5 years of this, or you need to know how to do this. No, apply. Right? Find out who there makes the decisions. Find out how your skills, your knowledge, and your desire are aligned with, synergistic to, supplementary to the company's objectives. Be more interested than interesting. Don't limit yourself. You are qualified. You need to go back, look within, and take value, take stock in who you are, your essence, take stock in the skills that you have, the knowledge of not only what, but who, and the desires that you have, and start aligning it with the opportunities that you see, and don't look at the requirements. I will tell you a little inside secret as an executive. I don't even know what the advertisements and listings say for different positions within my company. I have no idea what requirements are listed. I'm looking for that confidence. I'm looking for that charisma. I'm looking for someone that has intuition, intellect, and inspiration. And those are, not even close to the requirement of the other things that are listed out, whether Excel or Word, or I don't even know what else they list out. But more importantly, everyone out there, your essence, your frequency, your vibration is created by knowing your skills, your knowledge, and your desire. Don't pay attention to limitations. Don't pay attention to defying labels, judgments, and conditions. Pay attention to what you know, the value that you can bring. And so if you apply your why and apply your skills, knowledge, and desire to any opportunity, I promise you'll have greater statistical success. And those opportunities that don't come your way, remember, it's not rejection, it's promotion. It's not punishment, it's protection. You are part and parcel to a unified, abundant system of thought that's protecting and promoting you, especially in a job search. Be confident, utilize your intellect, your intuition, and your inspiration to find the biggest and best opportunity, regardless of the responsibilities or qualifications that they list out. Does that sound fair?
Yes, that does. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You can do it. Thank you. I love it. You never know, man. Just one little change in the meaning, and all of a sudden you get the biggest opportunity of your life. And I know Jessie has one coming her way. Jakey Bakey, speaking of biggest blessings in your life, you are one of the biggest blessings in my life. We're here at Sherman College, going to do a commencement speech right after this. So I'm going to have a quick close and run out to the car to get to that speech. So go ahead, reset the room, Baker. Let's make it happen.
Quickly resetting the room. Welcome, everybody. It is 6:18 a.m. Pacific time, 9:18 a.m. Eastern time here Dave is in Spartanburg, South Carolina. He's giving a keynote today. Welcome, everybody. This is the BYOQ. Bring your question. David has the answers for you. Free Friday training that Dave's been doing for over 23 years. If anyone has a question that they'd like to ask, feel free to just raise your hand here on Clubhouse or back channel me, and we will bring you up to ask your question. Let's also take a second here to share the room on the Breakfast with Champions. You can do that at the bottom. There's a square with an arrow. If you push that, you can share the room on all your favorite social media platforms, of course, here on Clubhouse and your text messages. So let's continue to share the room here for this BYOQ with David Meltzer. So Dave, next up, let's take a question on TikTok. I can ask it for you or for Dante. The question is, hi, I'm a recent college graduate. What's the best way to stand out in the interview process to get hired?
Well, first of all, the best way to stand out is to get yourself out of the long stack. You got to get yourself into the short stack to get hired. And in order to do that, you have to take the extra steps in order to reach out, not just send a resume, right? You have to be more interested than interesting. Go ahead and show up, send a written letter, ask who is involved in the hiring process. Look and see what types of extracurricular activities they have. Volunteer for the charities that they're involved with. See if you can't stop by certain places that they may be speaking. Whatever it is, you want to take the extra step, the extra initiative to get into the short stack. Look at LinkedIn. See who they're connected with. See if you can get a personal recommendation. See how you can get out of the big stack and put into the little stack. If you do that on various opportunities, you will have more opportunities and touches of favor when you are looking for that distinction of the unbelievable opportunities that exist today. You got to get out of the big stack. That's your primary goal when you're applying. And then once you get into the short stack, now you're able to align the skills, knowledge, and desire, articulating a quantitative value of what you're going to bring to the company to exceed what you're asking for in that opportunity. So the main objective, the sole objective, I would say at first, is to get out of the short stack. I would get out of the big stack and get put into the short stack of resumes.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave. That was from Dante on TikTok. Do you want to take a question online now, and then we'll come back to Clubhouse for a question?
I want to do whatever you say you want me to do, so that's not a problem at all. This is a question. It says, the currency of this world is money. The currency of the universe is faith. All right, so I love this quote, by the way. First of all, what is currency? A current is something that moves in the flow. Currency is an object that moves in the flow. And so energy, money is an object of energy that you put into the flow. And money is the currency of this vibration of the earth. Money is the currency that allows us to shop. And if we shop and put that money into movement for the right things, for the right reasons, it will aggregate, it will accelerate and compound and grow. And you'll have more money to help more people and have more fun. But in order to effectuate the greatest flow, the greatest inflow, the greatest influence, not the greatest influence, spreading dis-ease, but instead creating ease with the currency of money, an energy that aggregates, compounds, and accelerates, you have to have the second currency of the universe, an ultimate energy, an ultimate truth, an ultimate abundant, infinite system of thought called faith. And the cornerstone of everything that I do in faith is based off of one simple belief that I can't prove. One simple belief that you can't prove. But it works for me, and it works for so many millions of people. And that faith says there's something bigger than me that knows everything, that loves me more than my mom. I'm going to repeat that. There's something bigger than me that knows everything and is all powerful and loves me more than my mom. Now, can I prove that? Not a chance. Can you disprove that? Not a chance. Then why do I believe that with such fervent belief? Why do I believe that with such fervent faith? Faith being the currency, the object in the flow in which the universe relies on and supplies us with. Why? Because it's the best option. It is literally the best option as a foundational principle of faith, hope, joy, and peace, is that there's something bigger than me that knows everything and is all powerful and loves me more than my mom. If somebody can come up with a better option than that, then let me know. I'm all for it. I'm all for the best options that are best for me, to protect and promote me, to accelerate, to aggregate, to compound me in the trajectory, aiming me towards or pursuit of my potential, my highest self, my true self, my richest, wealthiest, happiest, worthiest, healthiest self. I want everyone to find their faith, their currency, and use it every day, and then utilize that as a fuel for the currency of this world, money, an object of energy that you put into flow to get and shop for what you want for the right reasons. And guess what? If you do so, you'll make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Use both currencies in conjunction with one another to live in a unified, abundant, infinite system of thought that protects and promote you in every single activity that you have each day. Activity you get paid for, activity you don't get paid for, activity you have planned, activities you don't have planned, and even your sleep, to plateau and grow. Speaking of plateauing and growing, that is my boy Jake. He is plateauing and growing every day, learning and loving and finding the light. Thank you so much for taking the time, Jake. Early every Friday. We've been doing this for over 23 years, almost as long as you've been around. And it's just been taken to the next level with people like you and the group of Breakfast of Champions every Friday that we've inherited and now have energetically and genetically tied ourselves to each and every Friday. Jake, go ahead, reset the room, and tell me where to go.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, resetting the room here, and yes, it really is an amazing room here in the Breakfast with Champions. I think your stunt double, I wish he was here right now to chime in. Hopefully he'll join at some point today. But this is the quickly resetting the room. This is the Breakfast with Champions. Welcome, everybody. Today's topic for David Meltzer's 1 hour here of Free Friday training is BYOQ. So you bring your questions, Dave will bring the answer. If you have a question that you'd like to ask, just feel free to raise your hand or back channel me, and we will aim to bring you up. Also, if you have a chance to ask your question today, you can email David. I'm sure he's happy to answer it. His email is david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. So let's keep it going here. Let's bring up a question on Clubhouse. Sarah Bronson is here. Sarah, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, welcome.
Good morning, Jake, and good morning, David. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Every time I listen to you talk, I learn something new, and I'm grateful for all of that. And I'm in love with the 5 daily practices. And one of the things that keeps popping up for me is what advice and wisdom can you share for how do you stay clear about what it is that you truly want, and then stay focused on it when things pop up that pull you in different directions? But how do you get really clear on what it is you really, really want?
Well, I use time. Time is the dependent variable to keep my attention and intention aligned with the coincidences, consequences, and karma that I want each day, which will aggregate, compound, and accelerate towards or pursuit of what I want in the long run, or better. And so what I mean by that is that if I'm very clear that time is only relevant in today, because that's where the man-made construct of time is effectuated, not in the past. Past is infinite. We can all close our eyes and think about going back 100 million years, or we can all close our eyes and go in the future 100 million years. But today is limited by 24 hours, the man-made construct of time. So working in the context of daily practices, I know that I would work and use as a dependent variable the idea of a day. A day is 24 hours. And so in order to stay in line with the attention, the focus that I'm giving to my day, and the intention of doing everything in alignment with where I think I want to be, saying things in alignment with what I want to think I want to be, thinking everything in alignment where I think I want to be, believing everything in alignment, and feeling it each day, living in intellect, intuition, and inspiration, I use those 5 daily practices to get the consequences, karma, coincidences I want each day in a trajectory of what I think I want. If you are losing focus and you are not prioritizing correctly with activities you don't have planned, or re-engineering the prioritization during your day, then use time and be a student, study your time in your calendar to make sure that you're giving your non-negotiables. For me, of course, my health, my family, the activity I get paid for, adequate time, a minimum amount of time each day, and then utilize the 5 daily practice to prioritize what's important to you. So, for example, if I have my day set with what I think I want today, say, do, believe, and feel, who I can help, who can help me, and how I'm going to get it done with the activity I planned. I have activity I don't have planned in my calendar, the white space, the empty space, the missing activities, and my sleep. When something occurs, what I call God laughing at me, when I make this beautiful plan for my day and something happens that I didn't have planned, God laughs at me and says, "Oh yeah, Mr. Smarty Pants, you think you're in control? Let me just remind you, remember, and recollect that you are connected to and through something much bigger than you, something that knows everything and is all powerful and loves you and is going to protect and promote you by giving you better than what you planned. And I'm going to teach you through the lessons of giving you things that you don't have plans. So therefore, I have a system now to stay focused, to have my attention and intention remain aligned with the pursuit of my potential. And so how do I do that? I go ahead and as things happen that are unplanned, like a flat tire, cancel, I go ahead and study my calendar and say, whoops, I have a phone call right now, but my tire is flat. And I have a meeting to get to in 10 minutes. And I have after that this to do. And so all of a sudden I say, well, first of all, let's make the call to get the tire fixed because I'm not that guy. So I have a AAA card and I make that call. Then I quickly make the other call that was planned. And then I also send a text message or call or text some of my people to go ahead and reschedule the meeting because I'm going to be late. And so I will either put that meeting because the tire becomes a priority, because in order to effectuate the rest of my day, I need to not stand on the side of the road with a flat tire. And then I move that into the white space or blank space of my calendar, unless there's more important things to do that day than I'm just reprioritizing at all times. If number one, you don't know what's important to you, you won't be able to prioritize. If you haven't been a student in your calendar from the start of the day and left the world of nothingness into what you want, who you can help, who can help you, and utilizing that study of time as a productivity, accessibility, and gratitude kaleidoscope, 3 different lenses of all activities in my day. How can I be most productive? How can I be most accessible, meaning accessible to others and access what I want? And how can I be most gracious with the dependent variable of each day? A day is 24 hours. The dependent variable of each day is time. Time's the dependent variable of all my activity and all matter in my life, because it is both subjective and objective quantifier of each of those circumstances. Utilize time and you will be able to prioritize and stay focused, giving attention plus giving attention to the coincidences, consequences, and karma that you want in your life. Does that sound fair, Sarah?
It does. And can I ask one quick follow-up
Sure.
question?
Yeah, please.
Do you have a tool or a process for taking everything that you just shared and mapping it out into the bigger calendar for where do I want to be in 12 months, or mapping out that big project or going after that big to-do? Do you have any recommendations around that?
Yeah, this is one of the biggest counterintuitive, conflictual ideas that exists that takes years to allow people to understand. And it's because the terminology and the vernacular that surrounds it is misleading. And there's several words that mislead us on different paths that are so important. We talk about detaching from an outcome. And when we talk about detaching from an outcome, we immediately say we don't have any mid or long-term goals, objectives. We don't want big deals or whatever. It just illustrates, how long it takes for people to truly understand the idea of what I want today and a trajectory of what I think I want in the future, short-term, midterm, and long-term, and be able to go ahead and be ferocious during the day, utilizing your free will to pursue your potential of what you think you want, but keep an open, detached mind from the outcome, that what you want is not what you want, it's what you want or better, regarding that currency of faith that you're being protected and promoted. So too many people hang on to these, well, I got to close this deal by this time, or I need this to be here by this time. And no, each day you're aiming towards being the world's greatest blank. Each day you're aiming to double the amount of money you make as fast as you can, help as many people as fast as you can, or have as much fun each day that you can, enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. So my suggestion, and I have exercises for you of detachment, the counterintuitive, conflictual nature of detachment, that I have so many objectives each day in the short term, long term, and midterm for how I prioritize the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude of my day. But when COVID hit, I changed my objectives, but I still kept the fervent, ferocious, unbelievably efficient, effective, and statistically successful activities of the day. They just had a new trajectory because of things that I couldn't control. And when we try to take control of the future, it creates anxiety and worry. And if we try to take control of the future, we feel resentful and guilty of our past because we are not in control. We are part and parcel of a system that's unified and abundant, and we're protected and promoted in that system by something much bigger than us, an all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves us more than our mom. So please keep practicing detachment, and you can still have all those wonderful objectives, goals, milestones, aspirations, inspirations for the future, but they're not going to do you any good unless you make a plan using daily practices today to how can you progress towards those things or better today. And I know it's a difficult thing. You're not the only one out there that I coach and mentor that has a difficult time understanding the nuance and reconciliation between surrendering and being ferocious. And that's why I've created the idea of a ferocious Buddha, because that's the best way I can explain how you can be what you want to be and keep that desire to be what you must be, have goals, objectives, outcomes that you want, but without attaching your emotions to them.
Thank you so much, David. Really helpful. Thank you.
You got it. That's a big one for everyone. And it took me years and years and years to not only understand, but even more years to hopefully keep articulating, planting seeds under trees I may never sit under. But a lot of people will listen to that again and again. And slowly but surely, it peels the onion to a point where it's like finally someday you're like, oh, shit, I get it. I get it. That's a tough one to get. Anyway, Baker, we're turning up the heat and creating turnovers here. Anyway, sorry about that, Jake. Go ahead, reset the room.
Awesome. Yes, I love that, Dave. Resetting the room here, definitely turning it up here. This is the Breakfast with Champions, David Meltzer's hour here. Welcome, everybody. This is the BYOQ. So if you have a question you'd like to ask, just feel free to raise your hand and we will aim to bring you up. We got about 23 minutes left here. So let's get right into it. Dave, I'll pass it back off to you and then we'll bring up AJ to ask a question here live on Clubhouse.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for passing it off. From a leader's perspective, what are the keys to building a successful company culture? There is only one key I know, and it's the repetition, the pounding of values. If you want to create a culture, you need to have a symbiotic situation with everyone in your company at different levels, understanding and practicing and executing on the values. And for me, there's 4 values in which I practice and execute on every day. And the first is gratitude. I find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything that I do. Life is about lessons. The lessons will keep on coming until I learn them. I write down, codify, capture the lessons that resonate with me the most, and then I create a system to access those lessons. But in the concordance with those values of gratitude, which will give me that perspective, also comes forgiveness, which allows me to make a ton of mistakes. To do my best, learn lessons, and have fun, I need to have forgiveness. I need to learn to forgive myself, especially in a company culture, because if I can't forgive myself for the mistakes, setbacks, failures, if I can't forgive myself for the different different time, days, weeks, months, years, now minutes and moments that I spend in interference between me and others, and me and my future, and me and myself, if I can't do that, if I can't forgive myself, I can't forgive others. And it's just going to create interference between me and the objectives of the company and the company culture. The third value in which we incorporate and create a culture, I train these values every single day, but have specific cultural trainings Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, reminding people that gratitude gives us perspective, forgiveness gives us ease, puts us into the flow, utilizing the currency of money and faith in order to effectuate abundance. The third value that I teach is accountability, which gives us, surprise, Sarah, control. See, it's counterintuitive and conflictual in nature to understand that if we take accountability, saying three things: one, how am I responsible for what happened? And what am I supposed to learn from it? What did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And finally, what did I do to participate in this perception, and what am I supposed to learn from it? And when I coordinate all three types of lesson learning functionality, from responsibility to attraction to participation in a perception, I'm learning lessons, but I'm taking control. I have control of any situation in which I learn from. That is the only way in which I have control. That is at the basis of our culture at our company, and should be at yours. To be accountable, to learn lessons through gratitude and forgiveness, to create the flow. And then finally, most importantly, the effective communication between us and everything else. Effectively communicating by identifying the fear, the insecurities, the projection, the ego-based consciousness that exists between me and everyone else that I work with, internally and externally, but especially externally, the one that I work with in a unified, abundant system of thought, to effectively communicate with Source, to pursue my potential, to identify fear of the past and fear of the future, but not resist the fear, not fight the fear, not out-logic the fear, not out-reason the fear, not go over it, under it, through it, around it. Don't lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it, or even deny it. Simply, we supply information through effective communication by stopping and breathing through our nose and out through our mouth, raising, recollecting, reminding, and remembering with that source, the bigger source that loves you more than the mom, is protecting and promoting you, that knows everything and is all powerful. To remind, remember, and recollect in effective communication, it gives us not only higher intellect, greater intuition, but an enormous amount of inspiration, applying our why to everything we do, the activities we get paid for and activities we don't get paid for. If you want to build a successful company culture, you have to spend the time each and every day, have specific training on culture values in which we base all of our mindset, heart set, and handset within the context of corporate culture and corporate execution. Gratitude gives you perspective. Accountability gives you control. Forgiveness gives you ease. And of course, effective communication gives you inspiration. And all three of those will create a culture that will allow you to live in abundance, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Man, I'm loving the questions today. Thank you, everyone, so much. Baker, who's up next?
Let's bring up AJ here on Clubhouse. AJ, if you want to unmute yourself, welcome to the room.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning, champions. Thank you so much, David. I got a statement before I ask this question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
The statement is, I really love what you're going with the currency of the all-powerful, the one who loves you greater than our mom, and how we can how we can all come together because we all have an open mind or a closed mind at a certain time. But this message of unity that you're giving this morning, I just believe it needs to be spread more. And in my take, my business is unity, and I'm in my unit element outside of the matrix. So a place like this is completely satisfying to me because I know my relationship with my creator, and that's why I'm so much gratitude. That are moms.
Wow. I broke up at the end. I apologize if there's a question there. Can you repeat it? I'm so sorry, my brother. I was loving the unity. That somehow blanked out on me.
No, it's great. I was just saying, you've heard this before. We've all heard it before. The statement that on Sunday is the most segregated day of the week. How do we bring this superpower that you're talking about, the one that loves us more than our own mom, and how we can not be in fear and we can just be in gratitude mode? How do we agree on the superpower of the Most High with all these different places?
Man, this is a big question. And look, my brother's a rabbi. My family's extremely religious. They believe in Judaism, and I struggle with dogmatic religion. Meaning in the respect that it separates us. And I think you're articulating the same frustration that so many other people out there. And I think the only solution that I have is the same solution that I have in the oneness of my relationship with my wife. When I started looking for what I wanted in my wife, my life got better and my marriage got better. We keep looking at the differences in these dogmatic explanations and vernaculars and vocabularies and stories and lessons, instead of looking for how and what we want in each of these religions. 90% of 99% of all religions are the same. Stories are different, characters, the food, the practices, the disciplines, but they're the same. 90% of 99% of all religions are the same. They just have different vernacular vocabulary. They have different stories and lessons. I'm going to repeat, 90% of 99% of all religions are the same. Look, there's more differences within sects of religion than there is between the religions themselves. I'm going to repeat that. There's more differences in the sects of religion, SECTS, sects, the differentiators, conservative, liberals of each religion, than there is between religions themselves. And so what I'd like everyone to do is let's appreciate the differences, but also focus in on the similarities. Let's appreciate the differences of the stories and the lessons, vernaculars and vocabularies that separate these religions. 90% of the religions are exactly the same, and of 90% of the religions. And let's start appreciating the differences, but focusing in on the 90%. The 90% that includes this concept that there's something bigger than us, that knows everything and is all powerful and loves us more than our mom. The math doesn't make any sense any other way. I appreciate my brother who's a rabbi. I appreciate what he celebrates and doesn't eat and eats and blah, 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 blah. I appreciate it. But I focus in on what I believe to be the same, the 90% of what he believes to be the same of what I believe. And the 90% of what he believes and I believe and you believe and everyone, 99% of us and 99% of the religions believe that there's something bigger than us that's all powerful, all knowing, and loves us more than our mom. And if we focused in on that and appreciated the 10%, appreciated the difference, we would have more unity and less interference for no reason. We would realize that we are interfering, F-E-A-R, we are placing and instilling fear in that separation, which is the antithesis of what the 99% of all religions are telling you to do, and 90% of the similarities are teaching us to do it with different stories and lessons. Man, can I tell you how much I appreciate that big question, because it's at the core of my mission in life to empower others to be happy, to live in a unified, abundant, with more than enough, infinite, all-powerful, all-knowing system of thought that we all are in and we all are one with, including the space between us. And if we can focus in on that 90% of the universe is the space between us, and we're the 10% that's separate and different, it would be even easier for all of us to focus in on the 90% of 99% of all religions and appreciate the 10%. Man, huge question. Thank you so much. Jake, how can you beat that? Go ahead, reset the room. We got 10 minutes left on the day. Then we're running over to Sherman College for the commencement speech. It's their 50th anniversary. It's going to be incredible. I'm so stoked to be here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Then guess what, Jake? I forgot to say, I'm going to brag here. I'm off, planes waiting, to Bloomington, where my daughter, my second eldest, is graduating with honors from Indiana University, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, and she is a triple threat. And I have so much pride, joy, and ego tied to my children that I can't not take the opportunity to brag. So please, everyone, forgive me and indulge me in how proud I am of my daughter and all my kids. But today we'll honor her. Anyway, Jake, go ahead, reset the room.
Big day. Congratulations, Mia. She's graduating Indiana University today. So it's a huge day. So congratulations again, David. Yes, quickly reset the room. I know we only have 10 minutes. We want to get to it. This is the UIOQ.
Jake, do you just turn the shower on?
I think Demi did.
Okay.
Yeah. The shower was turned on. Yeah, there's a way, to add a round of applause.
Oh, yeah, even better. Give me up again. Here we go. Raise the roof. All right. Thank you.
You deserve it. That's amazing. There it is. Congratulations.
Thank you. That's awesome. Go ahead, Jake.
Awesome. I'll quickly reset the room. This is the Breakfast with Champions. David Meltzer's hour here. Welcome, everybody. We got 9 minutes left. If you want to ask a question, there's 9 minutes. But if you don't have a chance to today, just feel free to email David. His email is david@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. There's been amazing questions here on Clubhouse, social media, on your Free Friday training everywhere. So thank you, everyone, for being here and sharing and diving into the audience. So let's bring up Trisha here on Clubhouse to ask a question. And Dave, if you want to take a question online, but welcome Trisha to the Clubhouse.
Hey, thank you so much. Good morning, David. I wanted to go back to something that you had stated a few questions ago and just get your perspective on it. You had made a statement about people waking up feeling like nothingness or that they have nothing. And I was just questioning that, and I wanted to know, do you really believe that people wake up feeling as nothing or nothingness, or that they wake up possibly feeling that they are something, and then they become intimidated by people that convince them that they are nothing? Possibly get intimidated by people that are more than something, and they convince them that they are nothing.
Both. I think absolutely both occur. I think there's some people who have given up. They live their life like tubes, food in, food out. They live the myth of Sisyphus. They roll a boulder to the top of the hill just to have it roll back down. And I also believe that people have inspiration. People have the dreams and pursuit, and then get discouraged all day long by worrying about what other people think, by focusing in on what they don't want, don't have, what other people say to them that they can't have or can't do. And so I try to shift the meaning of everything we see to knowing that you give meaning to everything you see, and you can't find outside of you what you can't see inside of you. And so I think absolutely both occur, and both result in that nothingness. They both result in people living their day like a tube, food in, food out. Some have given up before the day has started, and others give up in a measure of time when the day starts. Regardless, the same outcome occurs, that the boulders at the bottom of the hill the next day. And so what we want to do is focus in on that idea of plateauing and growing, of being able to look inside at the skills, the knowledge, and desires that we have and align it with where we want to be, and have the values, perspective, and ease and accountability of control and inspiration, intellect, and intuition in order to fuel us to get us there, with daily practices and an execution model that allows us to be effective, efficient, and statistically successful, giving that energy, that currency. 3 characteristics of energy, by the way, and putting that energy in the right trajectory is to aggregate. It will attract more like energy. It will exponentially provide outcomes. So instead of 1 + 1 + 1 each day, it's 1 + 2 + 4 + 8 each day as it progresses, and then it accelerates. So the better outcomes come faster than the outcomes never coming at all. And so I think it's great to share that perspective, because it's not what I say, it's what you hear. And I'm always, please clarify, because absolutely both occur every day, and we want to resolve both of those issues for everyone so that they can pursue their potential and enjoy it. Great point for everyone to look at, and thank you so much. All right, Jake, we got 6 minutes.
Thank you.
That was a really good too. And the questions today, by the way, we're made by the questions we're asked, and you're made by the questions you ask, and being curious, being more interested than interesting, the deep thought and understanding that goes in this group, this collective consciousness of the Breakfast Champion, astounds me. I travel, do meetups 200 days a year speaking, and these questions show a great level of awareness and also potential, and more importantly, inspiration for all of us. Thank you so much. All right, Jake, where and when do you want me to go? 5 minutes left.
Let's take a question online, Dave, if you want to take a question on there.
All right, this is from Beth. How does your commencement message today change for the new generations, or does it? My messages, regardless of whether it's a commencement speech, or we were at a big family office event yesterday, or a multi-billion-dollar company yesterday speaking, my message is one that I learned from Dennis Waitley, who's a great sales mentor of mine from years and years and years ago. And it's simple. My message is to plant seeds under trees that I may never sit under. My message is to plant seeds under trees that I may never sit under, to teach people how to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential, and everything that goes in with the values, practices, and execution model in order to effectuate that, to plant those seeds. Some will grow immediately. Some will sit there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, like they did in me, like the seed of this seed that held in me from when I first heard Dennis Waitley say this when I was 24 years old. And it took until I was 44 years old, 20 years later, for that tree to grow, to understand what he meant when we talk about empowerment and empowering others to empower others to be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Could not do it. My message is always, I am a harvester. I am planting seeds under trees that I may never sit under, with no expectation in return. All right. Great questions. Everyone, if you want the daily practices, the values, if you want the execution model, if you want to be a student of your calendar, I'll throw in my book on top of it. I will sign a book. I will send it to you. I will pay for the book and shipping. Please, all you have to do is email me, David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. It's pinned everywhere. And please reach out to me. And if I didn't get to your questions, we do Q&A for the day every single day beyond the 23 years of these trainings that we do every Friday. Come and just email me a question. Come to our Clubhouse lives, our Instagram lives, our TikTok lives, our meetups in person. We are here to be of service and of value. I have a shitload of dummy tax, excuse my language. I have paid a ton, over $100 million in dummy tax. That's of hard currency. I don't even know the subjective currency of dummy tax that I paid. But why should you have to pay it? I've already paid it for all of us. Go ahead, reach out, ask me the questions so you don't have to pay the dummy tax that I've paid. All right, Jake, we got 2 minutes. What do you want to do?
Let's take, to close it out, let's take a question from Skid on TikTok. I can read it for you. Does that work?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the question is, how do you seek the potential in others? He said, I'm having trouble seeking the potential in others. How do I seek the potential in others? From Skid on TikTok.
Yeah, so you don't seek potential in others because we can't change others. What we want to do is meet people where they're at. And when we meet people where they're at, we want to find out what they like and what they don't like. And then we want to use 3 mechanisms of mentorship, coaching, and teaching in order to, number one, coach, bring out the best in them from where they're at, give them more of what they like, take away some of what they don't like. We want to, of course, mentor them, like I was talking about the dummy tax. We want to give them directions to where they want to be. And we want to teach them. We want to be able to know the subject matter well enough where we can explain and teach what we're mentoring and what we're coaching. None of this occurs when we try to seek their potential. What we want to seek is where they're at. And we want to bring the best out of them, give them directions, and explain to them how to get there. And if we do that, we will allow them to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of their potential, their truth. And that's what we're doing here as it clicks on 10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to go give this speech, my friends. Everyone, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Thank you for that hour.
Thank you, everyone. I got to get to this speech. Please email me if I missed your questions. Get a book. I'll sign it, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. David@dmeltzer.com. I love you all. Enjoy. Have a great day.